Everyone, Lady and Mouthia here with another video, and this is completely separate to the 31 days of tarot challenge that I'm doing at the moment. This is actually about my word of the year and my card of the year. So I will link the methods I used below. I followed Jessica Starr, the Story Witch. If you do not follow her on YouTube and you're into witchy things and you're into bullet journals, she combines the best of both worlds. She is one of my favorite channels. I've watched so many of her videos. I'm working my way through all of her videos. She's just fabulous, and she has a great accent and great hair. She's really lovely. So I followed her process. She posted a great blog post on her blog, funnily enough, about word of the year, and it's doing its rounds at the moment, the word of the year process. Even a church friend of mine posted about word of the year on his Facebook page yesterday, and it's something I've worked with in the past but not really held true to. It's been like, oh yeah, word of the year, this is my word of the year, and then I haven't really actually worked with it. So I thought long and hard about what my word of the year was going to be. I read so many different posts. I looked at so many different perspectives. There was a post in the Bullet Journaling Witches Facebook group I'm in about choosing a word of a year from this big list of words by Benabel Wen, I think, was the post, was the article. And the ones I got when I used the random number generator from 1 to 88, a lot of people were doing 3 words, so I thought I'll give this 3 words thing a go. I got halo, radiance, and courage. And I feel like those really do relate to my spiritual practice in a lot of ways. Sorry, I have an itchy nose. I'm trying not to sneeze during my video. Oh my goodness. I don't want to sneeze on video, but I also don't want to stop this because I feel like I've said some good things so far. So those words I felt were very good for a spiritual practice, but I also live a mundane, not just a magical life. So, you know, I had to have something that worked for all of it, because Halo just didn't feel like it resonated for me for the rest of my life. Sure, it works for the magical part, but what about, you know, the rest of it? And the magical and the mundane are quite intertwined in my world. I wear a lot of jewelry. I'm not wearing any at the moment because it's just too hot. We're in the middle of summer here in Sydney, and unfortunately my apartment is ghastly hot. It was so cold in winter in this apartment that we were desperately hoping it would be cold in summer, and it has proved to be, oh my goodness, one of the hottest apartments I've lived in. It is just a nightmare. And we thought it had air conditioning when we moved in, and then we moved in and we're like, where's the air conditioning? So yeah, we were a bit confused by that. So fans all the way, and they barely make a difference. So I just don't wear jewelry inside at the moment, even though I love jewelry. But I got a bit distracted, sorry. But I blessed all of my jewelry. A lot of my jewelry has magical significance for me. For example, I have a genie bottle, as in I Dream of Jeannie, and now that show was one of my first childhood interactions with the concept of magic beyond my own understanding. I have all of it on DVD. I'm a huge fan. I've dressed as Jeannie. I still have my hat that my mom made, and I've met Barbara Eden. I bought the necklace from Barbara Eden's official merchandise that she had with her. She was just, oh my goodness, the sweetest, loveliest person. I saw her and the 2 gentlemen from I Dream of Jeannie at a panel at a Sydney Supernova a couple of years ago now. Honestly, can't remember how long it was, but the Bill Hadley and I can't remember the main guy who plays Captain Nelson. He was in Dallas as well. He was quite famous, whatever his name was. Unfortunately, they've both passed away now. So I was very lucky that I got to see them when I did. You would not think that Barbara Eden is in her like 70s. She is so beautiful. She hasn't had any work done, and she just looks incredible She's just as divine as ever. She's just she's aged very well. She's just so gorgeous. Anyway, but I have this genie bottle. It's silver and it is just so magical. And when I wear it, that's a talisman of power for me. And you wouldn't know it to look at it because it's just a little silver bottle thing. But for me, it's a symbol of magic. And all of my jewelry I imbue with a power of magic. And I don't do specific spells. It's more that I set an intention for it. So all my rings, I bless all my rings, my bracelets. Some of them have been made for me by other people. And so their intention is in it when they made them for me. I'm very lucky. I have some very talented friends who've made some beautiful pieces of jewelry for me. My lovely friend Adele has made me some beautiful crystal bracelets, and my amazing friend Cassie is a very talented artist who produces beautiful, beautiful jewelry. I'll be linking her website below because I just cannot get enough of her work. I'm going to be commissioning her some pieces when I have a bit more money, so probably after the move. But yeah, she's just so talented. She's made some just great stuff. And so I always, when I wear pieces of jewelry made by other people, intentionally for me, I just feel so blessed and so lucky to have these pieces. And yeah, like, so that's an easy way of incorporating magic into everyday life. And another way for me is tea. I drink a lot of tea. Anyone who knows me knows I have a massive collection of tea. In fact, I'm going to be ringing the Western Australian Department of Agriculture later on today. I don't think they're quite open yet because Perth is 3 hours behind Sydney. And to find out if I can actually bring my tea collection into Western Australia because it contains dried fruit. And the agriculture website says dried fruit is not allowed, but commercially dried tea products are. So I just want to check if tea with dried fruit is allowed. So if anyone actually knows the answer to that, please do tell me in the comments. But yeah, I'm planning on ringing them also just to make sure the food I'm wanting to take with me is allowed, because I mean, I could try and drink up my tea collection in 6 weeks, but I would be quite sad to see some of it go so quickly. So yeah, I like to cherish my tea collection, and it's a simple way of setting your intention and imbibing some magical properties into your body is drinking tea. Yes, I drink tea with tea bags. If you have a problem with that, too bad. I cannot go past Twinings, and I cannot go past the convenience of tea bags. Unfortunately, when you're chronically ill, sometimes convenience has to come over other things. So that's just the reality of life when you're ill and disabled. So in fact, I will show you my tea caddy. Here it is. See if you can see it. I made this little design with my Cricut cutting machine, and it's a line from Greatest Showman from the song This Is Me, and it says, I am who I'm meant to be, and it's got these lovely designs that I found on the Cricut website. This is glitter vinyl and it's so much fun. There's actually some tea in here which I will be finishing once I finish this video. So that, yeah, those are just some of the simple ways I incorporate magic into my day-to-day. So I thought, well, radiance and halo and what was the other one? Courage. Yeah, that makes sense, but they don't feel like they cover everything. So I thought long and hard about it. I did some journaling. I'm a big journal fan. I'm a big bullet journal fan. Even though I don't do it the traditional way, I do it the Jess way. That's my name, by the way. I'm a big believer in making systems work for you, which of course anyone who is disabled knows. You've got to make the system work for you. So the word I have picked, I know it's taken me a long time to get here, the word I have picked for myself, for my overall overarching theme for the year, is reboot. And I thought rebuild, restart, you know, a few different variations, but I thought reboot because last year, and there's videos about this on my channel if you're interested, I underwent major reconstructive leg surgery and I now have titanium in my body. So I am now part machine. So reboot felt like a really good word because I've learnt to walk again in the last 3 months. I had major alignment issues with my legs, which were causing major issues with my knees and were meaning I couldn't walk properly. And whilst I'm still using a walker to get around most of the time, I'm now starting to take steps without mobility aids, which is very exciting because hopefully that means I'll soon be able to drive again. I have not done much driving for a long time. I wasn't driving very well. I wasn't driving a lot before I had my surgery, but I certainly haven't driven since surgery because I don't have enough strength to apply the brake in a sudden emergency situation, which is definitely not the way you want to be driving, especially in Sydney. So I'm rebooting, I'm restarting, I'm leaving a situation behind here in Sydney. I'm changing my life in a lot of ways by heading over to Perth. I'm rebooting a lot of aspects about my life. I've been living with someone, and when I move, I'm going to be living alone. Well, with the dog, because of course I cannot move halfway across the country, well, the entire way across the country. It is faster to get to another country than it is to get to the other side of Australia. Like, that is the reality. It is faster to get to New Zealand than it is to get to Perth. It's just so bizarre, but that's Australia for you. But I obviously I couldn't leave my dog behind. I just couldn't bear it. Here's something I learned about English staffies and flying yesterday. So first off, I started contacting airlines, trying to find out what the rules about flying with pets were, and they were absolutely useless. They were like, no, you've got to contact these people, and then these people were like, no, you've got to contact this group, and it was like, oh my God. And then they directed me to an online form, and then once I entered my dog's breed, they're like, no, you have to call up. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just a debacle. So I contacted a organization, I'm pretty sure they were called Jet Pets, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with them. And they told me that English staffies, if the day is going to be 28 degrees or over, they have to fly before 9 a.m. so that they don't get overheated and struggle to breathe, because to do with the air temperatures, even though the cabin that they're in is air conditioned at 18 degrees, they can still overheat and have stress. And that's the last thing I want in him, because I haven't talked about my dog a lot on this channel, but he's at least 11 years old. He's not purebred English Staffy. He's potentially part pug, we think, and that whatever it is, with the stub kind of noses, and he already snores a lot and is struggles to breathe a bit when he's not feeling his best. In fact, he was snoring before when I was trying to meditate and started yipping in his sleep, which is one of the things he does, and it was just too hilarious to keep meditating. I totally lost my focus, but that's the joys of living with your best friend. He's so unpredictable in the strange little noises he makes. And then suddenly he just stopped and got up and walked over to me, and he was like, what are you doing? Why are you so quiet? Because normally I'm making lots of noise. Well, not always, but he's always checking up on me and making sure everything's okay. And he's just an absolute darling, my little boy, my Gimli. And so he's got to fly early in the morning, and the airline probably didn't have a clue about this, but because the company I spoke to specializes in pet transport, they knew this immediately. And the lady I spoke to on the phone even had an English Staffy at home, so she totally got it. And they're probably used to dealing with people who are like, oh my God, I'm going to fly, and I'm so stressed about flying anyway, let alone flying my pet. Like, I don't know how many of you watching this have pets, but Gimli and I have been together for 1 year and 3 months now, and he is part of my soul. Like, this dog and I, as soon as we met, we had an instant connection. And I know it wasn't just me going, oh, he's so cute, I love him. I felt him accept me. And the time we've been together has just been so precious, and there's no way I could move without him. It's not going to be cheap moving him, but I can't put a price on his life. Like, he is the most precious thing in my life. And I'm sorry, but I love him more than anyone. And I'm pretty sure you all know that. All my friends and family all know that. So, yeah. So I've been like so stressing about organizing, getting him on the plane. And so, oh my gosh, yeah. So much going on. But anyway, where was I? So word of the year, reboot. So, yeah. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was my card of the year. Now, I used a numerology-based technique that I found on the Little Red Tarot website, which helped me work out my birth card, which is the Chariot, which is number 7 in the Major Arcana, I believe. And then I used that same process, but instead of using my year of birth, I used 2019 and applied that technique, and I got the Hierophant for my card of the year. Now, my favorite representation that I've come across of the Hierophant is from the Shadowscapes deck. Can you see this, or is it blurry? I don't know how to make images less blurry and the light glare and everything, but this card reminds me of an Ent. Now, the Ents are the tree race in Lord of the Rings, for those who have seen them. They're very slow talking, ponderous creatures. I adore them. And as soon as I saw this card, I immediately thought of Treebeard, who's the main Ent in the Lord of the Rings movies. And he's just so badass and wise and so imbued with magic. And as soon as I saw this card and started working with it, it made me realize that I need to draw on my ancestral and cultural roots of Celtic and Norman heritage, which is predominantly my heritage. And yeah, so I've started working with a lot of Celtic things, and I haven't gotten to the Norman side just yet, but and I'm also working my way through J.R. Tolkien's work. The Hobbit is my very favourite book of all times. That's probably why I have 3 copies of it. I just adore it. It's another thing that connects me to my father, actually. So it's very special to me. So this card, for those of you who aren't familiar with the meaning, it's about self-study, self-guided study, and study with teachers. A study usually of a spiritual nature. And so when I found out that this was my card of the year, I was drawn to the concept of more spiritual study, and I was really hoping that I'd be able to make it to this course this weekend, just taught by a teacher I've had at a previous course. But because I still can't drive and I can't use public transport yet, I'm probably not going to be able to make it. I'm just absolutely so devastated, because it's a continuation of a course I took last year before my surgery, which just opened my heart in a massive, massive way. The tradition of witchcraft I follow is called reclaiming, and I'm not going to go into that in this video. I'm going to make another video about that at some point. So many videos that I want to make. Like, my head is just full of ideas. I'm going to get them out onto paper and actually use them. So yeah, like, I really wanted to do this particular course, so I'm really upset that it looks like I'm not going to be able to. So I'm just trying to find other ways that I can work my spiritual practice, and one of those ways is by reading more books, especially by one of my other teachers, Jane Meredith, who is just this absolute powerhouse of a woman. She's written some incredible stuff, and I just connect to her work so deeply. She's such an inspired teacher. She's just this absolutely lovely woman. I'm so glad I've gotten to work with her on a few occasions, and she's just got such a great heart. And yeah, she's just such a blessing to know her. So I'm going to be working through her books this year, and I have a goal of reading 40 books this year. I have finished 2 so far. What is it? It's the 9th of January today, so I've got got time. I think I read 50 or 60 books last year, so I think I'll pretty easily manage 40. I mean, hopefully. The majority of the books I'll be reading are on the Kindle. I try to stick to buying Kindle books these days for space considerations as well as environmental considerations, and also cost, because books can be quite expensive, especially when you have to get them imported from overseas. And Kindle books are so convenient because you can just have them wherever you are. My Kindle's aging a bit and I'm worried I'm going to have to replace it, and I'm so reluctant to, because I actually had it, the leather case that my Kindle is in was signed by one of my favorite fantasy authors, who is Tad Williams. So I really don't want to get rid of it because I just adore it. Like, it's so special to me. That's the downside about having a Kindle, is you can't get the author to sign the book, but I got the author to sign the Kindle, so yeah, that was pretty fun. And he was like, sure, why not? I also got him to sign a paperback copy of one of my favorite books by him, which I lugged with me to see him. But yeah, that's a story for another time if I decide to do that. I feel like I've just been rambling so much, but I didn't really have much direction for this video. I really wanted to talk about that word of the year process and the Hierophant card. I'm probably going to do an Instagram post with all pictures of my favorite Hierophants drawn from all my different decks. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of tarot decks. I've really got the Shadowscapes, which is where that particular card I just showed was from. Shadowscapes, Moonchild, Crystal Unicorn, Line Strider, which I haven't worked with yet, Wild Unknown. Do I have any other tarot decks? Oh, and Lumina Tarot. I think I only have the 6 tarot decks, because I've got so many Oracle decks, but I'm pretty sure those are the 6 tarot decks I have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I'd have to look at my list, and my list is in my bullet journal, which is in the pile that I have used to make this tripod. So I can't actually move it without making everything fall over. Why has the light just changed? I have no idea. I am not great at this whole video thing yet. I will get there, hopefully with the upgraded equipment I mentioned in my last video. Hopefully Mark remembers that he has offered me that webcam. I will remind him anyway. Yeah, like 2019 is going to be a huge year of change, not just because I'm moving to the other side of the country, and hopefully in about 6 weeks, but because I'm leaving lots of things behind here in Sydney and moving to a new situation, which is going to be like completely out of this world. I'm also going to be best man at my best friend's wedding. Part of why I'm moving to Perth is so I can be more involved in the wedding process. Like, one of the things, I won't spoil it. I won't say exactly what it is, but there's going to be craft that we're doing for the wedding, and I'm going to be involved in it. I'm so excited because I love doing craft, and I can't wait to have a dedicated craft room. I'm going to have like 2 desks. It's going to be amazing. But irregardless of this, I'm just rambling now. So this has probably been my longest video, as I've gone all over the shop just talking about a few different ideas and concepts, and really saying a lot because I'm still intimidated by using a camera. And I don't even know if I'm looking at the right place half the time, because I get caught up in my thoughts and I get distracted by noises, and the dog makes little noises every now and then, so I'm like, do I need to worry about him? Usually he's fine. Like, he's pretty chill. He's pretty okay by himself most of the time. He just likes to be around me, and I just like to be around him. We sleep as close to each other as we possibly can all the time. Like, we're so close. Gimli is very important in my life. I'm so blessed he came to me, and everyone says how lucky he is to have me because I absolutely spoil him. He's just the luckiest dog. I have to be very careful because he's got a bit of a delicate stomach, but I do give him the occasional special little treat, and he just gets so excited. And the other day I gave him the rest of the peanut butter jar because it was pretty much empty, and he was so excited. I gave him the lid. It was all plastic, so he was safe. Like, I wasn't going to give him glass because he doesn't have thumbs, so he can't be very gentle with things. But he had the peanut butter jar lid between his two paws on the ground, and he was like licking the contents of the lid because there was still like bits of peanut butter stuck to the lid, and he was just having the absolute best time. And then he came over to me and he's like, do I get more? Like, he's very greedy. He's very food orientated, which means he's very easy to bribe, which is pretty handy. So yeah, like, obviously he's quite important to me. I call him my furry son. So yeah, he's a very big part of my life. So I'm very excited that I'll soon be able to walk him again. I haven't walked him for 5-6 months now. He has been walked by other people, but he hasn't been walked by me, and we're really missing that connection. We used to spend a lot of time sitting on the couch together, and we're not even able to do that at the moment because it's difficult for me to get on and off the couch. Well, getting on is not so much a problem now, but getting off the couch is still quite difficult because it's not really low, like it's not on the floor low, but it's a little bit lower than I'm comfortable with at the moment. I have to use like special chairs and stuff because I can't bend enough. I don't have enough of a range of motion to get in and out of regular chairs. Like, going out is such a nightmare because if I have to sit down on a regular chair and then get up, it is so painful. So usually I just end up sitting on my walker, or what do you call it in the States? Rollator. Thank you to my friend Katie for teaching me that word. I try and remember that one for her sake so she doesn't get too confused by the random things I say. I taught her a new word the other day, which was sledging. I said I was sledging someone because they were playing as the Empire in a Star Wars game, and obviously rebels all the way. And so I was sledging them, and she's like, what? She had to look it up. I'm always teaching her bits of Aussie slang, and yeah, it's great. So big shout out to my bestie Katie. I love you, dear. Yeah, so I should probably wrap this video up because I can see the timer at the top and it's almost a half an hour, and there is no way anyone's going to watch a video this long. So I'm so sorry I have talked so much. I really can't help it. I'm a talker. That's the only thing I'd ever get in trouble in school for, was talking too much. So I will say thank you for watching. If you managed to actually watch any of this, well done. Blessed be, and until the next video, bye.